say I was just promoted to sergeant, and I was out when I came on the job, and I just kind of stayed out. I knew I was going to be out because I'm just more comfortable being out. I'm not comfortable being closeted. You know, I'm who I am, and that's how I have to be. So I thought if I had any problems, it'd be fun to challenge. I mean, I kind of really wanted to be the police, but if it didn't work out, you know, it would be fun, you know, moving things along for other causes then. So I've been out the entire time. And I took the promotion test, and I did well, and I was promoted. So that's how that happened. I studied. Well, I was put in another district on midnights, and I'm on the south side of the city of Chicago in an area that's predominantly housing projects, the largest area of housing projects in the city. So I'm just working really hard at night, learning the new job in the new area. And once again, I'm just another new sergeant. You know, they're more, you know, the officers who are there are much more concerned with how I am and how I can do my job, and whether I know what I'm doing or not, than, you know, what my sexual orientation is. I understand they like to talk about it. I don't think it's ever anything really negative. It's just really a point of curiosity, you know, because here's someone who says, you know, I'm a lesbian. I've actually had a very good experience. It's been very eye-opening for most of the people I work with. I get a lot of, well, I didn't know any lesbians before, you know, so I get a lot of really naive questions, but it's good. I encourage dialogue. So I let people ask me just about anything, just for the sake of information and knowledge. And people are really curious, and I haven't had any problems. Lesbians aren't as threatening to straight men as gay men are.
Oh, yeah, that was real nice. Yeah, well.
And the superintendent, the one we have now, Superintendent Rodriguez, one of his first public statements when he was sworn in as superintendent was he would have a zero-tolerance policy towards things like homophobia. I mean, he was just very adamant that his department was open to everybody, which was really, really good, that he's so vocal and supportive. And the trickle-down is pretty good. And my direct superiors have been very supportive since I've been on the job. I had a really fantastic one with someone who I'm still very close to, who's in the military, and that's what kind of, she'd gone through college and then went active duty in the military. She was in ROTC, and I decided that I was not military wife, Army wife material, traveling around to small towns, or she's done a lot of time overseas. She's in Germany now. Rhonda's going to stay with her for a week. The end of October, she has some vacation time, so I can go visit. So, yeah, so that was a great relationship. It still is. It's just a little different, you know, right now. But that ended because our careers just didn't, you know, it didn't work. You know, the military really screwed that up. So, but that's okay. It's been 5 years. It'll be 5 years in October. And at the time, we were both working, before I became a police officer, I worked for a private ambulance company as a dispatcher. And Rhonda was a paramedic. Rhonda was a paramedic for that company. And so that's how we met. And then she became a paramedic for the City of Chicago Fire Department. And actually, she was with the city before I was. She got with the city about 3 months before I became a police officer.
So have you followed the same sort of path in terms of the issue of being out?
It's been a little different on my part. Dorothy is the first woman I've ever been involved with. I had basically considered myself heterosexual up until the point I met Dorothy. Did not know, as far as I knew, I didn't know any gays and lesbians. And we had a rather rocky first couple of years getting to know each other, and then she left Burrs and went somewhere else, and when she came back, I had a little more exposure to the big city. I came from a smaller town in Texas, and there are no queers in Texas, you know. They just don't exist. So it was a little different when Dorothy came back when she came back to work at Burrs again, and I had a little more open mind to the fact that there were people out there who were not raised in a fundamental Christian, straight-laced, don't drink, don't smoke, don't swear, don't, you know, just don't anything for the most part.
I've been out since I was 19 years old to my family, and they're very supportive, more so now. My mom, it took a while to come around to. I think she kept hoping I would change. And it's actually really helped. She adores Rhonda. So the last 5 years, I think she's really grown a lot more comfortable with it because she loves Rhonda so much. If I break up with Rhonda, I don't know where I'm spending my holidays. Because my family will have Rhonda before I'll be there. My dad's attitude was always, whatever makes me happy.
This is something so foreign to my upbringing and just the South and the way I was brought up. I used to think I was being cowardly. I haven't told my grandparents, but I'm not sure it's cowardice so much as I'm not sure it's worth the trauma in their lives at 80 years old. My grandmother and my aunt on the other side, I think it's more of an understanding that they know. I was home visiting last year on our anniversary, and Dorothy sent me a dozen yellow roses, and I got it at my grandmother's, and I'm kind of like, and it's like, well, geez, what were these for? And my grandmother says, well, honey, it's because she loves you. He was like, okay, all right, we've got that straight.